Greetings, friends! Welcome back to another episode of the Film Alchemist podcast, the show where we take the movies we love, break them apart, and find out what gives them their magic. I'm your co-host, Alex Dandino, joined shortly by a special guest and, of course, a regular host, Josh Griffey. But first, a little business. Guys, as always, we're on Patreon. I know you want to help us out. For only $1 a month, you can get in on our Discord. That's so much fun. We talk about all kinds of crazy shit. It's a great time. And then, of course, if you want to contribute more, like $3, $5, $10, up to $10, you can start selecting movies to be part of the show. It's a blast. Ask all your friends who are already part of it, unless you don't have any friends that are part of it. And in that case, I suggest you become part of it. Also, of course, we are on all the socials you are. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're everywhere. Whatever you do, we're doing it too. We're very cool. We're very hip. We're very with it, as you know. Finally, as always, please, if you use Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast app you use, pause the show right now, rate, review, and subscribe. We would really appreciate your love. As you know, it helps us defeat these other dimensional, out of an ice cream truck, algorithmic overlords who always ruin a good time, you know? I don't know what to tell you. Either way, that's it. All the business we've got. We got to get to this movie, guys. Tonight, we're talking about 1986's Neon Maniacs, brought to us by our friend Tim Vargulish. Tim's a comic book writer that I know through a couple of anthologies. Just around Twitter, we all, comics Twitter is just filled with friends. So I asked Tim to come on the pod. He picked this movie. It's possibly the weirdest movie that he could have picked for this month, and possibly the weirdest movie we've ever done on the pod. We had so much fun talking about it, so much fun trying to figure out what exactly Neon Maniacs is. I can honestly say there's a chance we never would have covered it had we never had Tim on the show. So again, it's one of those great experiences. Like, we get to watch a movie we never would have watched. Either way, it was so much fun. Guys, here it is.
By violence, and the soul of mankind fades, the children's path shall be darkened by the shadows of the Neon Maniacs.
I do not remember there being a question mark. Seemed very fine when we watched the movie. What's up, everyone?
No, let me tell you this before we start and do Tim's intro. I have a lot of questions today. That's the kind of show we're doing.
Yes, this will be a big Q&A for sure, because I have probably just as many. We are joined today by our friend Tim Vargulish. Tim, welcome to the pod.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Not just for having me on the pod, but for agreeing to do this movie. So I don't want to call myself an expert on this, but I feel like I'm one of the only fans of it, so it kind of just falls to me.
Yeah. Why not? That's like me with Head of the Family, dude. We all have that one movie, we really.
Everyone's got their movie.
So Tim, would you like to tell everyone where they can find your work and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm I guess I would call myself a writer of sorts. I do comic books and some script stuff. You can, best place, is on the social media stuff is at Tim Vargulish, TimVargulish. I'll usually have links to the stuff I'm doing right. I'll post about that kind of stuff. Geez, I wish I was better at this.
That's the subtitle of our show.
The main, I do want to say, the one that you promote right now on your Twitter, can you tell everyone what it's about? Because it's actually one of my favorite books.
Oh, of course. Thank you. So I have a series coming out right now called President Werewolf. There's the second issue came out this year, and then the third issue is about 75% done. It's probably a little hard to tell what that's about, but it is essentially what would happen if the president got bitten by a werewolf. But yeah, no, it's amazing. It's got beautiful art. I think it's pretty funny. A lot of gore. If you like stuff that's
incredible artwork.
Yeah, just really awesome. Yeah, Joey Lee Cabral and Sean Pinnell do the art, and then it's really good. But yeah, it's available on Comixology, or yeah, if you shoot me a line, DM online. I have physical copies I can hook you up with. But
amazing.
Yeah.
Now all I can think about in my head is how I read that article that Joe Biden can't function after like 6 p.m. And what does that look like when you're a werewolf? All right, I'm a sundowner and a moon upper. I don't know what to do with myself.
The funny thing is, like, this was something that I'd written like a long time ago, like back in 2014. So at the time, it was kind of funny being like, hey, wouldn't it be kind of crazy if the president was a monster? Just, like a few years before,
Look what you did, Tim. God damn it. No. All right, Tim, would you like to tell everyone what movie you selected and why?
Yeah, so we're doing Neon Maniacs today, and the simple reason is because I love the hell out of this movie, and it's like you're kind of saying earlier, you have that one movie you just want to show people and talk about, and like this is that movie for me. What I absolutely love about this is you sound insane if you try to describe the plot to anyone.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so yeah, it's your basic 80s slasher movie about these, I guess, demonic, almost, I kind of refer to them as like demonic village people almost.
Yeah.
Because like they all have like their own like very specific wardrobe and identities, and they come from another dimension, which I guess is inside an ice cream truck, which is inside the Golden Gate Bridge.
I mean,
makes total sense.
That's as
and
good
this
as
is
I
like
got.
this is like the first 2 minutes of the movie. And it's so bonkers, but it is like one of those ones where I've watched so many times, like with friends, and laughed about and thought about that. Like, I'm not gonna try to defend it and say it's like high art or a good movie, but like I have come to really appreciate it and like it, and like it is legitimately a good movie to me, just because it is so fun and out there and different, and it's just got everything I love. It's I love horror movies. Like, I love the 80s. I love like the cheesiness, the over the topness. I love like characters that are like horror maniacs and like want to everything about it. I just think is like really fun.
Well, I was just like, I'm always shocked when someone brings us a movie and I've never even heard of it. Like, there are occasionally movies I haven't seen, but it's really fucking rare that someone's like, here's a horror movie, and you've never even heard a syllable of this fucking title. And so, I mean, essentially Neon Maniacs, because this was my first time viewing it, but it's essentially Phantasm mixed with Warriors, mixed with Signs, mixed with Ernest Scared Stupid. Right, like it's got a little bit of all of that going on. It's a strange one, but what I think
mixed with Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
It's mixed with We Need to Talk About Kevin. No, I'm just kidding, but
you know what it kind of reminds me of?
Any 80 movie that has a Damone character. Go ahead.
I just thought about this the other day. It kind of feels like this movie to me would be like if Gremlins 2 came out before Gremlins. Like, because it's just like so like imagine like Gremlins 2 is so wacky and they have all the different types of gremlins and stuff. It's like, this feels like there should have been a movie first of just like one like crazy maniac, and then like, well, for the sequel we got to get like all these different neon maniacs and stuff, and like, but no, it's like this is just like, no, we don't care, we're just throwing
that's
everything.
a good point. If there was originally was the Neon Maniac,
and the S is actually a 2, you can almost see the poster in your mind. No, it's I guess I would just like to maybe do this is I ask you questions, Tim, and
sure,
you give me your takes, because I mean, I don't even know where to start, honestly. This is probably about as flabbergasted as I've ever been by a movie we watched. So I just have these notes and it just reads like madman scribbles, right?
Like you said, it starts off with that cold open which it's
Okay,
eerily.
so who the fuck is carrying around the glamour shots, right? Like, they have, like, mall glamour shots of every bad guy. And I was like, this is cool. It starts with the deep voice, voiceover opening that I said at the start, right? Very Highlander-esque. I was like, hell yeah.
It's when the world is ruled by violence. I mean, I don't know. It's very prescient,
Okay, now this is a weird thing, because for the first 20 minutes of the movie, it's essentially kids throwing footballs and dry humping around a park, right?
Yeah.
With no lighting.
I mean, we all did it
lights.
in high school. We all just went to the park, and everyone was like, all right, go off with your respected.
Yeah, we all just went to the park, threw the pigskin, fucked on the grass.
Now we're
That's
like,
all
we
did.
don't have hay to roll around in. We're just making do. But no, so... yeah, so someone gets axe carrying their, McFarlane toy headshots of these bad guys, right? Chop.
Yeah.
And then, we're in this park forever. For a really long time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me ask you the first question I had.
Yeah.
Were the Neon Maniacs summoned by finding out that our main actress is a virgin?
I actually, that is something I have thought about, because they do make it a very clear point, she's with all of her friends who basically just want to get laid, and she is one of those ones that's just like, no, I can't. And it's the Scream rule. It's the the virgin is the final girl, the one who lives, which it's very funny, because when you watch Scream, they have those very specific rules, and they don't really stand out to you until you watch other movies, and then you're like, oh no, that's this is the kind of thing that they're talking about in Scream.
Right.
But yeah, I have no idea. I guess the Neon Maniacs, they seem to want to target teenagers.
Because here's a question. Here's how I saw it in my mind, right? So we're at the park. Everyone's running around. Denim Dan's over there calling people string bean and whatever his deal is. And all of a sudden she's just like, I'm a virgin. We do a hard cut, like a hard B-roll cut to the Golden State Bridge, and just, like a Castle Grayskull, barbaric yelp. That's what in the fuck was that? Next thing you know, they hear it all the way in the park. Because this is the other thing. It took me a long time to realize, this isn't going to be like a post-apocalypse movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because the opening made me think that something had happened, and I was like, this is just our real...
I thought it was starting off in the future, and we'd learn how the Neon Maniacs came to be.
Yeah.
Because then that happens, and then we cut.
Yeah.
But I was just like, what is happening in this film?
Well, because you're like, you could get a full denim outfit in the apocalypse. You couldn't have that many nice sweaters in the apocalypse. I knew something was afoot.
No, this isn't Soviet Russia where there's denim galore. That's not a thing.
You mean Soviet Canada? Just the bastion of all denim. No, but so that is something I thought. I was like, are they telling us in this movie? Because it's a weird thread that runs through why they want this girl so badly, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, we literally see them, just, basically, just walking past, other normal people, just not caring at all. So I don't know. Again, I wish I had answers if I ever get a chance.
Well, not even
to
answers.
Speak to the
you
director.
have theorems, right? Because this is actually almost the anti-Scream, right?
Sure,
she is the virgin, and they're gonna kill her. They run past. I guess they kill all the other sluttier kids too.
Yeah,
just take them out.
They're not afraid to. Yeah, if someone gets in their way, they're not afraid to lay down. Do we? So I think she says at some point that her parents are away in Europe or something. I want to say. So we
she calls the operator and she's like, "Can I get the foreign extension?" And they're like, "For what country?" And she goes, "Oh," just doesn't know where her own parents are.
Dude, okay, actually, I have to bring this up. So we do get this really long preamble, and then the credits start rolling. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's an ilk of movies like this that all have rejected sitcom
porno
piano
music
songs as their it's not even porno music. It sounds like music where people are turning the camera starring Scott Baio. There's a lot of that.
See, I kind of heard it as porn music, but the guy's like, "Oh God, this is my 8th porn score this week." He's phoning it in. But it still has the hallmarks of an adult film.
See, now I just really want to see someone do like a fake like sitcom intro doing all of that with the Maniacs, like and introducing Axe and Ape and Biker. Like,
right? That's a great
Alchemist,
idea.
get at us. Like, cut that together, guys.
For the very few people like you, Tim, that actually know what this fucking movie is, that would be a banger. But no, I mean, so let's just get this out up top. I am so confused as to why these maniacs are, why they're referred to as Neon.
Oh yeah, that's
what their goal is.
Is that a perennial thing? I was reading some articles online, and it seems like no one knows why they're called Neon Maniacs.
Well, I think the Maniacs part we get.
That makes perfect sense, yes.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
There's not a light in this whole movie, let alone a neon one.
Yeah, it seems like they spent most of the money on like makeup effects, and they got to set and they're like, cool, let's put up some lights. And like, you have to rent lights for these things? I did not know. Well, we'll shoot it.
Brought all this awesome makeup. Oh shit. No, but so Tim, what about the Maniacs do you really like? What kind of draws your attention and makes them memorable to you?
Well, what I do love about them is that they are like very distinct. Like if you think about it, any one of these guys, and I don't know if you counted how many there are, but there are 12. There are actually 12,
are there 12?
Maniacs. Yeah,
looks like they had the Maniacs dog, 12. Right? The one-eyed dog.
I thought it was like a lizard. I
pet,
have no idea.
Like a lizard, but like a pet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote them all down. So there's Ape, which I thought is more of a caveman, but he's credited as Ape.
He kind of looked like the creatures from Congo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's the one who's the most infatuated with her. Okay, so Ape.
Oh, yeah. So you got Ape, Archer, who I'm guessing is the guy with the crossbow.
Yeah.
You got
crossbow,
Axe.
Yeah.
Yep. Decapitator. I'm not sure which one that was.
There was a decapitation at the start that had no blood. Maybe that was him.
Maybe.
Yeah. The decapitation with the. By the way, because of the lighting obscuring, I couldn't tell when the kids were about to get down. Did that girl get beheaded while about to give that guy head, or
that's a great question?
Like, because again, like I was watching the movie and I was also it's like half watching it like in my lap so that no one saw what I was watching. Like I didn't want my kid to like
watching the
peek over, like, what's that? Because I didn't want my kid to like peek over my shoulder and be like, he's like, what's that? And be like, not for you. But like, I was
Daddy,
like,
did that girl? Maniacs?
It's like, did that girl get decapitated? It's the first time I've seen a decapitation. Be like, wait, who got decapitated? I just saw a head fly. I could not. I just knew. I was like,
but that makes sense that it's decapitator, right?
Yeah,
yeah, that would make sense that would be decapitator.
And then I love that that's like that like horror movie thing too, where it's like the guy doesn't even notice it because he's just like so into like, I'm gonna get a blowjob, but it's like,
why are you taking so long? Oh! Well, I think he was still feeling her up when she got decapitated. Oh
yeah,
bummer.
All right, so then you got Doc, who the doctor. Which you gotta wonder, like, do you think he's a little like snootier than the rest of the Maniacs? Like, does he have his like neon?
Are you saying
PhD?
you think he's board certified?
Yes.
He's like, I didn't go through all this training to be called a Maniac.
He's like that. He's like Doc. He's like the Doc of the Seven Dwarves. Like he's like super uppity. Yeah, definitely.
He's just like, guys, don't question me. Take your fucking horse to Wormers and get back out there. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Well, he was they kept throwing them in too. Like, I feel like I didn't see Doc until like 10 minutes.
Yeah, he wasn't there
in
until
movie.
the end. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So who else do we have?
We got Hangman.
He's the supervisor.
Hangman, of course. The noose. The nooses were everywhere.
Hang on, guys. Let's take a look. Yeah, sorry. Okay, the noose guy.
Then so I have no idea who this is. Juice. Do we remember a Juice? Was there any?
I've got nothing.
Neon Maniac.
Wait, was that the one
Juice?
who the little girl, like the guy who tripped and was like spurting out of his finger? Was that Juice?
Maybe that would make sense.
I thought that's because he touched a puddle.
That's what he touched a puddle and like fell through it. That was the part I was like, I couldn't tell what was going on. But I think maybe that's
OJ
Juice.
a Neon Maniac? They're like, we cut Juice loose. He was too much of a maniac for us. Uncredited. Yeah. All right, so who else? We got Juice.
We got Juice. We got Mohawk.
Mohawk. He's the guy with the spear?
I'm guessing. Wait, was he the Native American guy?
Yeah.
Or yeah, okay.
I'm saying, yeah, it was very dark. I have no idea. I just remember that scene where she's like, I saw feathers. Like the day after all her friends got slaughtered, and she's like, we don't need to check it out. Let's make out.
Yeah.
I was like, right on.
All right. So we got Punk Biker. So I think that's the guy with like the chain in the beginning.
Yeah.
So Samurai, that's probably the most noticeable.
Samurai,
He's like the Wolverine of the team, probably the most popular.
Yep. Yeah.
Scavenger, I have no idea. And then the last one, Soldier, which is
the guy with the gun at the end.
That's the guy with the gun,
Kevin.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, he.
Yeah.
So that was a long tangent to basically say, yeah, well, like one of the things I like about these Neon Maniacs is like each one like could have been its own slasher.
Yeah.
Like you could have had a movie with just Punk Biker or the Samurai Slasher or something, but like I love that they're like, you know, and again, I'm not saying that this is a good movie, but I think it is kind of a cool idea to be like, hey, instead of doing a movie with one slasher, let's just throw like everyone, every idea we have into it. Like, I think that is kind of cool and something you don't really see a lot.
Well, it's also the same thing, right? So if you build your movie around a horror movie monster, and let's say the audience watches and like 40% of them are like, yeah, fuck this guy. Like in the first scene, you're never getting them back. And so by constantly rolling it out, and like you said, they do have a very Village People-esque, like there's a constant visual clue every time. And you're always off guard. You're like, wait, how many of these fucking maniacs are they? You're like, they're only killing upscale white kids. Like, you think this would be on the news. Are these new guys? That's what I found myself doing. I was doing, like, Rain Man math, trying to calculate how these people exist, how these maniacs existed, right? Was this a new problem? Someone had their headshots, who was not an official cop, right? So this was obviously a thing. So I don't know, but I thought it was fun that like when he gets jumped on the bus, right?
Yeah.
There's a different look to that guy, right? When they're in the train, right? You just see Ape, and then you see, I know who Juice was. Juice was probably the guy from Slipknot who was driving the train.
Right.
Because he's going.
That makes sense.
You know, and they just cut away to him 2 more times, still on the train, just bouncing around in his GIMP outfit. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was cool too. I really do like that.
Yeah, no, like there's like some legitimately like this is a very cheesy movie, and like the reason why you're watching it and probably enjoying it is because of like the cheesiness and the weirdness of it. But yeah, I think there is actually like some legitimate like cool stuff about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just fun too because they clearly knew what their strengths were, right?
Yeah,
and their strengths were they could make these monsters, and so you know, I'm all for people who just get their movie made. Period. Yeah. And if you know what you're good for, just fucking go for it, man. And and you can see a lot of that. They're just like really piecing together, like, how do we get to the finish line? And I think there's a charm to movies like that, man. You know?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I actually like that. You brought it up at the very beginning. I like though that this could have been a sequel. Here's my question: if there was an original Maniac, who would have been your favorite Maniac to like be the first one? Out of the ice cream truck.
I have an answer. It's gonna throw you. I think there's an unlisted maniac.
Oh yeah. Do you think these maniacs are here for revenge?
I think her mom is not in Europe. I think her mom's in the ice cream truck. Did you hear what the guy said when he was trying to hook up? Is he said? Actually, I think he says it to a different girl though. So maybe my whole theory is poppycock, but I'm gonna stay with it. When the scream happens, I go, "Did you hear that scream, bro?" And he's like, yeah, it sounds like your mom's anti-sex spiel. And I was like, is this someone's mom sicking intergalactic, like, you know, condom guys after these teens? So I don't know. There's a part of me that's like,
yeah. Well, there's
also, again, why are they so infatuated with this girl? Why her? Why her of everyone?
I kept going back to this. Why her? And I agree. The theory started formulating. I'm like, is she somehow part of this? Is she like a forgotten maniac? Is this like a reverse?
I just gotta debunk my own theory, which I never do. I usually just keep lying and bullshitting until I make it work. We see her directly in a pool. Is this because she bred with a human man? I don't know. Her mother bred with a human man.
But see, okay,
she'd still be half allergic to water.
Okay, again, it was very dark, and I couldn't necessarily tell. Is she the one who has the dream of the blood?
Yes,
raining down in the pool. Okay, cool. Honestly, I thought that girl was a brunette, and I could not tell. It was
everything I said was just wrong. Now that I think back through the movie, again, it was very dark. But man, wouldn't that have been cool? Wouldn't that have been cool? She's a virginal canary in the coal mine for these maniacs.
It's like kind of like the Super Mario Brothers movie where like she was like a princess from this other dimension, but they scurried her off to Earth, and then now they're back.
Which again, there's no evidence in what I said. I just realized it was another girl. She got in the water. Everything I said was wrong. But wouldn't that have been cool? But see, that's what my brain. Sometimes I appreciate movies like this that are so vague.
Oh yeah,
because it really lets you just run fucking buck wild and try. There's a thing I think every movie viewer naturally does, right? Is we're so used to movies that are formulaic and orderly, and especially American audiences, we despise not having all the answers when a movie ends.
Yeah,
I think especially nowadays, like everything has to be explained, everything has to have a backstory, and it's not always a bad thing. Like sometimes that works, but I do kind of like you're saying, just like the brazenness to be like, no, like we don't care, like you have to work for it, like you figure it out.
Well, that's what I mean. Is there anything they would have shown us in that movie where why they like? Let's say it's Highlander 2, and it's like the quickening's happening again. You escaped us once, now it's go time again with Michael Ironside. As axe wound or whatever. Like, would that have made the movie dramatically better, knowing why they're hunting her down? No, and you're thinking about it the whole time, so it becomes this kind of fun extra benefit of the film, as it were.
Now, what I will say is, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily like a super fun answer, but the way I always kind of seen it is the opening kind of like big kill scene with all the kids and stuff in the park. I kind of feel like the Neon Maniacs just kind of stumble upon them. But then since the girl is the one that survives, that's why they're basically on the hunt for her. I don't know if they're trying to cover their tracks, but they do seem to target people, because then we see with the other character, Paula, like the younger kind of
in the Ripley hat,
like we see later on, like one actually goes to her house to kind of confront her, which I think it's because they don't want anyone to know about him, so anyone that sees them, they got to cover their tracks.
Yeah, and she fucking lost boys him into a tub. That was cool.
Yeah. Well, and she and it's interesting too, because like I don't know what it is about 80s cops. All 80s cops are just absolute garbage. Because
when the cop is riding her bike.
Oh yeah,
not 80s cops.
Then he's like, "Why the hell you leave your bike out here?" Yelling at her.
I guess not 80s cops. 80s cops get a bad rap. 80s detectives are terrible at their jobs. Like when they're at the crime scene and they're like, "Yeah, and they're like, first off, it's the worst CSI system ever. Is like scooping that goop in with a plastic spoon." I'm like, oh, look at this crack squad. Here we go.
The detective just stomps around chewing a cigar.
Yeah.
It's like, way to contaminate the scene, you fucking not NYPD Blue actor. Yeah. But anyway,
so they're like scooping it in. They're like, what is it? I don't know. Some kind of. I love all the names for what that stuff is, by the way, in this movie.
Yeah.
Like goop, guck, like gloop.
Every 90s Nickelodeon word.
Every 90s nickname for flubber came in. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
To your point, though, Tim, I actually think these guys were summoned here, right? Because this has a science question, too, which is why do you put your home base within a stone's throw of a fucking ocean?
Yeah.
Right? Why are you coming to get the blonde lady in a fucking pool? Right? Like, it rains on Earth. If you kill an overweight teenager, sweat. If they had walked in at the wrong second and some guy's nutting, dead. You know what I mean? There's liquid everywhere here.
Yeah.
But that's not technically water.
There's water in it.
Well, maybe it's a dilution.
And thing, FYI,
maybe it's
just so you know, I actually did Google that.
No.
I Googled, is there water in blood and is there water in semen?
Wait.
Yes.
Maybe. Okay, hang on. You know how there's no blood when Decapitator decapitates
That's exactly
that girl?
what I was going to say.
Okay.
heated up
What
blade.
if actually? Yeah, what if it's like a cauterized blade?
Because he
so
knows.
like maybe they're that, or they're from hell themselves. Maybe that's why they're by the ocean.
Well,
Perhaps
dude,
it's purifying rain that gets them.
Do they
Like,
have
they're-
cauterizing swords, but they don't have like SeaWorld ponchos in their dimension? Like, what are we doing here?
No, man, they come from a world where SeaWorld wasn't a thing, so they wouldn't know anything about those ponchos.
Oh my god.
I can't even keep a straight face saying it.
I mean, they
No
sure
wonder they're
adopted our
maniacs.
fucking Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
They have to know something about us. I don't know. What do you think of this, Tim?
What if it's like they're from a hell dimension where like you're just stuck with like whatever job you had on Earth, but like over millions of years, like you just get so like I'm sick of being a doctor, and you just like go crazy.
It's like, now I want to be a spearman.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, I guess you got to find your own props, but it's like LARPing. If you show up at the park and bring your own pops, you can be whoever you want. That's fine.
Like the only thing that sucks is like the weird like lizard with a hook hand just throws everything off, because whatever you can say like about like they're all humanoid, so any type of theory you have to also include room for a weird like lizard creature guy.
Yeah, I think that's the weird thing, because obviously the lead actress, I think they cast her specifically to do like her bikini scenes.
Sounds about right.
I hate to really crush actors, right? Because it doesn't seem like the best environment for acting.
Sure.
The only guy who's actually good in the movie, weirdly enough, is the extra who plays like the ginger New York guy. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing over here? Don't talk to that guy." Hey, he's actually like delivers a natural line. You're like, that's weirdly out of place. But she's just not
Okay,
great.
yeah,
But
that's the
girl-
Damone guy. He's my favorite.
Yeah, the girl who is wearing the Ripley hat and has the, because it's like we just cut away from the like van lawn orgy to the mask room, and I was like, wait,
Yeah.
who's she? What's this fucking room? I actually think it would be kind of cool if this movie centered around this like Fright Night vibe, right? Where it was this little girl who's like, I swear to God, because there's that great scene I liked when she's filming her own vampire movie.
Yeah.
And she's just watching it, and she's like, like she just knows it sucks, right? But she loves it so much, she's trying. And when she comes home and she wants to see the footage she got of, Melty Fingers, because she could just tell that's what a horror movie's supposed to look like. And everyone thinks that she's like putting on this ruse. There was a really fun riff there for just a couple minutes, and they just kind of throw it aside so she can, watch this, blonde lady and, Canadian porn Gutenberg, just run about.
I said it was. I called him not quite Josh Groban in all my notes, because he's like, he has that look, and then he's in the band later on. So it's just one of those things where
I love I really like Paula's character. Like it's a trope that I love, like anytime you do it in a movie where like a horror movie where you have like the horror fan, like the person that like knows the rules and the monsters and like just obsessed with this stuff. And she's definitely a much better main character than Steven. Like it feels like two different movies. Like I like what you're saying with like a Fright Night kind of vibe, like centered around her. I could totally see that, but then like they want to like just cram in this like weird 80s like teen romance comedy kind of thing with Steven.
There's a lot of that like weird like half-assed 16 cans. That's just a lot of weird like half-assed Cameron Crowe stuff. That Damone guy is just like his like buddy talks like this. Yo, we'll go get a slice and down by Golden Gate Park. You know what I mean?
I love in the
like-
beginning when he's like breaking up the fight between the two girls and he's like, "Whoa, yeah."
Whoa! But that's the weird thing. I was like, so he's talking to his friend like he's this like kind of outcast, borderline guy, right? Like high school movies love having the like really handsome guy that hasn't been discovered by the beautiful girl yet.
Yeah.
At the end, I'm like, he's wearing a suit and singing fucking power ballads. This guy would be drowning
He's
in
totally
it.
been discovered.
Yeah.
Are you
The
kidding me?
Neon Maniacs couldn't get near him because of all the WAP. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. He has like that weird 80s thing where it's like, I don't understand. Is he supposed to be cool or a loser? I have no idea. Like, it can very much be like either way.
It's like because he delivered. It's like he has a job. Like, okay, this is what I couldn't.
Oh, what
when
a
he
loser.
did he deliver food?
I think he
delivered
like,
food to that girl.
Yeah,
right?
he's like
In
like
the
I think
dirtiest
his dad owned
box
a grocery
ever.
Yeah, that's what it is. So he works at the grocery store, so he's automatically deemed a loser. It's like, oh, what a douche. He has a job.
Yeah.
Boo.
Again, forecasting. Little did we know we'd all be delivering shit in 2020.
Yeah, no shit.
He was the first fucking Postmate. But but no, I don't know, man. I think you're right though, because when we get to the giant showdown at the school, right?
You got to talk about Battle of the Bands.
It's
like
But I mean, in microcosm, like I feel like you could just show people this segment of the movie.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And be like, you get it. And that's what I like the movie. They even kind of acknowledge, right? Like when they're talking about, how do we defeat it? She's like, it's just plain old water. That's them telling us, like, we know. Someone on that crew, right, is the Paula, right? They love horror movies. And they're like, just bear with us, guys. We're trying to give you some effects work. Like, come on. Just get over the why did they come to a planet full of water thing that we love debating. Just get over it.
It was some fucking old Teamster who was like driving them all there one day, like.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, right? So you have this undercurrent of like, just chill out and enjoy the carnage, right?
Yeah.
Also, they are foisting upon us one of the silliest plots that's ever been plotted, which is, we'll go to the dance because that'll be the safest. And then we'll hand out an array of squirt guns, pre-Super Soaker. Right? Like the squirt guns they have are so janky. And they're like, when the time comes, these teens won't be scared at the fact that there's a giant guy running around with a noose lassoing us, and they'll jump into action. Right?
But I kind of feel like I think these characters are idiots, and I feel like they gave everyone water guns but did not explain to them why.
No. They literally did it. Because he actually says, he goes, hey, here's water guns. Yeah. Because we're smoking tonight. And I was like, don't tell him that. Tell him there's fucking maniacs coming.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
This guy, all he cares about is his music. He can really care less about these maniacs. Like anyone who was like maybe like halfway a decent person and cared about the safety of others would not be like doing Battle of the Bands like in the middle of a Neon Maniac crisis. Yeah. Like if there are Neon Maniacs loose in your city, you don't stop and perform at Battle of the Bands. Even though I do like this song.
But this would have set up perfectly Neon Maniacs 3 More Metal Than You, where they would have faced off against Oingo Boingo.
Oh my god.
In the hell dimension that the Maniacs come from.
That's what I'm telling you.
That would have been brilliant.
I'm telling you. I got the scent, the hunting dog scent. There's a lot of meat on this neon bone, I'm telling you. But that's what I'm saying, though. This motherfucker is... Because also I'm just like, does your school not have a sprinkler system? I know it was like back in the 80s, like who knows if they cared about child safety at all.
There's no sprinklers.
Yeah.
We can think of pouring blood on Carrie, but we can't figure out how sprinklers work.
Paula's sitting in the corner looking anywhere from 14 to 37 like she does the whole movie.
Yeah.
And like she doesn't realize that there's just a fire hose there.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, like meet me in the middle. Like tell me I'm not supposed to care at all.
There's like one that one great there's one great part where like she notices the Neon Maniac coming in and then she tries signaling the other girl and the other girl just like looks at her and doesn't even realize, like she just goes like, hey.
Yeah, well, like, I love the part when they're like we can't communicate because the softest rock of all time is drowning out our screams for help. Like you're in a fucking Muzak show. Yeah, dude.
I like the band that they were playing against. It seemed to just be a guy walking around stage with a whip.
Yeah. It had a very Phantom of the Paradise vibe, right?
Yeah.
Like fucking meat or whatever. But they're just like owning it, right? And I was like, oh yeah, what kind of dance is this? Where it's like, all right, when you guys want to grind on each other, we've got fucking Duran Don't over here, and then over here we've got these like fishnet wearing metal rockers. I was like, what? But and then of course they do the Carrie bit where people run in and start shooting machine guns at students.
Yeah, and again, like they're not prepared at all. Like,
no,
just so many people die.
Yeah, so many people. But also, it's just like they don't think like, oh, the maniacs might come more armed.
Yeah,
like our fucking squirt, and it's like, how many squirt guns did they really buy? Because I feel like we only see Paula shoot one.
Yeah.
For the entire rest of the film.
Yeah.
Did they go get like one of those 4 bags at the pharmacies? Like, well, I'm gonna need rubbers because my band's performing. I'll pick up 4 $1 squirt guns.
Or like why not get like water balloons or something that's gonna have a big range instead of
This is
like,
what I'm saying. This
just...
is where the movie Ernest Scared Stupid took this torch and ran with it. When they came up with infinitely cool ways to destroy villains with milk.
That's true, yeah.
Right? Same exact setup. Exact premise. That's all I'm saying.
It is.
And also they have a great scene too where they run away and they're like, Paula, who is between 14 and 37, will be fine. Leave her on her own to fight all the maniacs. So they can go fuck in the chemistry lab.
Yep.
There's so many of those moments in the movie too where you're just like, well, apparently that part of the plot's none of our business. Like they're just like section it off so we can go watch another movie.
Like they really are, like when you stop and think about it, they are like extremely like selfish, inconsiderate people. Like just constantly throughout the movie, they are not caring about others and they're like always escaping danger and just immediately like just concerned about themselves. Like they don't care about getting to safety or helping other people. It's just like, no, let's focus on us for a bit.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, everyone we see is like a fucking mansion dwelling douche teen. So I mean, I think all teenagers, you have your main goal, which is I want to be in that chemistry lab, right?
Yeah.
Whatever else happens, that's the goal. So it's like, it's not unbelievable totally.
Yeah.
That if you're on your way out, you're like,
it's not, but there is just this like, there's this level of like depraved teenagerdom that runs throughout the movie that you're like, literally everyone, not just the teenagers, everyone is thinking like a teenager except for the maniacs.
Yeah.
Maniacs are like, maniac's mission is clear. Kill, like, I guess everyone. Just, why not?
wait,
I mean,
did you just say the
they aren't the
maniac's
real
mission
maniacs.
is clear?
It was the only obvious thing in the movie, which is like they just want to kill people. I got it. It was very simple.
Is that what they want to do? Is it?
I don't know, man. I'm trying to make it up. Why don't you yes and this and we'll keep going?
Sorry.
Right?
Yes, and I know Paula's exact age.
See, the movie
They know Paula's age. They're there to destroy. That's what they're there to do. They're there to get up on stage right after the band's end and goes, by the way, that girl is 37. Everyone here knows it.
Yeah.
And
Also,
that's
I love
actually
they're
the end
like,
of the movie.
let's hide in the dance where 1/3 of the student body is dressed as the costumes.
Yeah.
Of course, these guys are gonna. But I'm like, they have to stink like shit because they can't bathe.
Oh,
I don't know.
Sure.
A lot of thoughts happening in my head during this film.
There's the other horror movie trope I love where you have like like the bad guy in a costume or whatever, but someone just thinks it's like a actual person in a costume. You have the one girl like, and actually, so I'm assuming this is like part of the high school, right? Because it's just a girl walking around with a beer at the dance.
It was
right?
the 80s, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, when he delivers the groceries, is she drinking a beer talking about going to school?
No, she
they
says,
told me
what
to-
do you want? And he goes, beer.
Okay, that's what it was.
He's a
Sorry.
working
yeah,
man,
she
though,
poured
is
him a
the
beer.
word,
Yeah, sorry.
Imagine like your Postmate coming into your house and be like, "Hey, can I get a beer real quick?"
I'm going to put all this shit in your fridge, and then if you could give me some hydration. Like, wait, what? My parents aren't home. They're in the alternate ice cream truck dimension, you creep. No, this is the thing, though. I actually really liked the final tag they added. Because at the start, I'm like, why are we doing this scene? Like, dear God, please, just, like, let's be done. We had our carnage. It was fun, right? I don't know why the doctor uses ether when he can soak through the rag and burn his hand. No, never mind. It was fun. Let's move on. What did you make of this? Because I thought they were setting us up that the cigar-chewing detective was actually going to be in on the ruse.
I always kind of read it as just like he's just a dick and he just doesn't believe him.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like,
Yeah.
You kids, always talking about your Neon Maniacs. All right, go back to bed. Like,
Yeah, it's really it's kind of a fun scene though, because I feel like that's what I wish if. And again, it's not our job on this show to rewrite the movie, right? But I feel like that final scene, it's like, oh fuck! Like I was really excited for again like 35 seconds. Where when they open the ice cream truck and lights pouring out and hands, I was like, oh my God, you just dropped like a massive amount of world building
Right?
on us
Yeah.
just to fucking smash to black.
Yeah. And it does like weirdly just end. Like even like with the other characters'
Yeah.
stories, it's just them driving off in the rain, just like worried about forever being like hunted by these people. They're like,
Yeah.
the rain can't last forever. And
You
then
almost have to respect that like flex on the story where they're just like, you know
Oh, yeah.
what, we're done. Like, not even like, because like I agree, like it is a tag for, it's 1000% a tag for a sequel. You're like, there's
Yeah.
no way these idiots aren't coming back. Like
Of
they
course.
have to.
yeah.
There has to be justification. There has to be exploration of this mythos so that 30 years later, idiots can go on a podcast and talk about.
Well,
You
they
know,
just
how-
added this fucking phantasm tag at the end where you're like, oh. And honestly,
Come on.
if I'm being honest, I didn't find this movie exceptional, but I liked the Maniacs, like you're saying. And at the end, I was like,
Same.
I would watch another one of these.
I
Like
thought
if they
that's what
came
it
back
is.
with like a little bit more of a budget and it was a little polished up, and we actually had
Yeah.
like Neon Maniacs back, I
Yeah.
would be excited for a part 2.
Ended the movie the same way. I'm like, I would watch another one of these.
Oh, yeah, totally. But, like I think, like you were saying before, there's definitely some production stuff that hurts it. Like, yeah, it is like very dark when you're watching it. Like, yeah, there's like stuff that's hard to make out, but yeah, it is strangely enough there that yeah, I do kind of want more. And like, if I mean, it's obviously like would never happen, like super long shot, but I always like. When people kind of have those like prompts or something, like if you could get your hands on any franchise, like what would you like to do? Like if I could ever, I don't know, somehow get that Neon Maniacs IP, like and like release like a comic book prequel or something.
Where's that prequel comic? Where's that sequel comic?
That
man?
has to be the cheapest fucking IP.
Dude, absolutely.
You just gotta find out who has it, or I mean, I
Yeah.
don't, maybe the copyright might even be up. Who knows?
I'm
Have to
sure
double
that
check.
Tim,
some
this
giant
is your.
studio
This is
owns
the
it.
next book, man.
Dude, I would help with that. I would help
I would.
with that.
I would help pay for this IP if that means you get to write another. If you get to write another Neon Maniacs and explore this.
Well, like, what if
Absolutely.
they come from a hell world where they just like live too hard, right? They were at like an end of the world orgy. They're all dressed as like
Oh, yeah.
village
What
people,
if-
and now they come in and they're like, "Oh, we smell sin in this world." Shink.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, hell yeah." Just
What if?
carnage.
What if the Neon Maniacs are actually from our timeline and the movie we watch is from a completely different Earth? Maybe the Neon Maniacs are coming from like 2024
interesting.
when we've really
Fucking
fucked
hell.
everything up.
I like that.
Oh. I was thinking, what if the ape was the offspring of porn Ben Affleck and the blonde lady coming back
okay.
to destroy their own parents because their sinful connection brought down the
Ooh,
world.
that's good too. Yeah, I like
Right?
that.
So then you've got like a Terminator Neon Maniac. I mean, there's so many things.
There's so many directions to go with this.
Once you
Especially-
add that fucking portal,
Yeah.
unlimited cool options.
Shit.
And it's like you can just constantly be adding maniacs too. Like if you did another
Yes.
one, you could have like if we do a new one, we could have like a podcaster maniac. Like,
Oh my god, dude, we gotta get this fucking IP.
All right, Griff. I think our next project on the show is we're gonna have to put this comic book out that Tim's gonna write. So
That's fine. I'll star in the movie
perfect.
as weird Duran Duran cover band guy. My pa had a band and he fought the Maniacs and now I'm here. Dude, we should get this fucking IP though, right?
You're
this is
not
something I actually
wrong.
like spend way too much time thinking
I
about.
honestly,
like,
after this is done, I'm going to look up how much it would cost to buy it.
Well, like here's the thing, right? So like I've been doing this horror movie challenge, right? Watch 100 horror movies in 92 days or whatever.
yeah,
And most of them I've watched are really good, but you get these horror movies where you can just tell you're like, this was a cash grab. There's no thought at all to the horror or the monster or why this is a horror movie. It's just tits and some blood, and it's so fucking just hollow, right? You can just
Yeah.
feel in its core that no one gave a fuck about it. If anything, I feel like Neon Maniacs is the opposite, that someone really liked this and pushed it through because
yeah.
it has just enough of those bigger ideas and points
yeah.
where it's just a hair more entertaining than it has any right to be with all of the limitations they suffered, right?
Oh, totally. And I would much rather see like a crazy mess that at least like had like an original idea or something behind it versus just like something that's more polished, but just kind of the same old thing you've seen before.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I agree.
1000%. Griff, you know the writer of Neon Maniacs, another film that he wrote? Pumpkinhead.
Wait, what? Are you
I'm not
fucking
kidding you.
kidding? Top 5 favorite horror movie of my entire life?
Mark
That is
Patrick
insane.
Carducci.
That's what I'm saying. This motherfucker knows how to do it.
That is
I'm telling
I
you,
had
there
no
has to
idea.
be a whole universe of other Neon Maniac details then.
There's got to be.
Has to be.
It deserves exploration.
Dude, that is wild. Also, I
didn't
just
even realize
completely
that was
outed
crazy.
myself for how little research I do. Because I fucking acted like it was Christmas morning when you said that.
Tim, you've converted us. This Neon Maniacs universe has to
This
happen.
is how we start our studio.
All right.
That's exactly
Full
what
vertically
it is.
integrated IP based on Neon Maniacs.
All right, this was my only goal coming on this show. I will now return to my ice cream truck and back to my old dimension.
I'll return back to my van orgy and my front lawn. This has been delightful. No. Well, Tim, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for,
Of course,
This is something every year someone brings like that one movie, and you're like, we never, ever, ever would have talked about this film if not for that person. You are the guy this year, and we thank you so much for that.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Thank
And
you so much, man.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but is it? I think at least for a little while it was streaming. Did you guys watch it streaming?
Tubi.
Or?
Yeah, it's on Tubi.
Tubi's got it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The
Tubi's got it, yeah.
most underrated, best streaming service that like not enough people know about.
Tubi is
Definitely
fucking
watch it on Tubi.
phenomenal.
They got the hits, man. I don't know what it is. They
Yeah,
just know.
their catalog of weird old like lost horror movies is
Yes.
so fucking good.
I have no idea how they make money, but
Probably the 52 ads I had to watch in the course of because they stop every now and again and they'll be like, here's 5 full fucking length ads, non-skippable. But worth it. Worth it.
Definitely.
So Tim, one more time, would you like to tell everyone where they can find you online?
So most of the social media sites, your Twitters, your Instagrams, at Tim Vargulish. If you're still on Facebook, facebook.com/GoatmanComics. That's where you can see my comic stuff. And again, if you're interested, check out President Werewolf or Goatman on
It's so good.
Comixology. I actually have like about 5 different books that are in production at the moment. So
Fuck yeah, dude.
if you follow me, I'll have updates about those when they come out. I'm really excited for them.
And we'll start our own thing once our company's up and running.
Of course,
So-
Well,
Once the Neon Maniacs verse is really kicked off, then we can like really put it out there.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
The Neon Couch Potato Studio. Welcome to it. All right, guys. Thank you again, Tim, for making the time. I
you
hope
so much,
you guys
man.
enjoyed your time with the Neon Maniacs as much as we did. Remember, guys, every day this month, a new pod. 31 days, 31 pods because we've lost our minds. But goddamn, has it been fun. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.